starting the meeting. All right. Hello, everyone. Today is our monthly Saturday special session, and today I will be your host, Mateo Duran. The topic of this session is Zoom workshop, where I will show you mostly the essentials for preparing a Zoom meeting and what you need to do in order to ace your presentations. We currently live in a virtual age, and technology is not going to go away from our day-to-day lives. So it's necessary for us to understand the basics of how to prepare a proper meeting, especially in the Zoom environment. I have divided this workshop in three sections. The first one is information, where you can look for more information because I won't cover as much as you may need for future presentations, but it will be a guide for you to learn even more. The second part, it will be the essentials of the main portion of this session. And the third part is going to be some ideas that our fellow Toastmasters around the world have used to maximize our Zoom experience. So let's start. The first point we're going to talk about is Zoom's own tutorials. And I want to ask you, to the current members, do you know what does it mean DIY? Like this.
Mm.
DIY. Do you know what it means?
Do it yourself.
Exactly, Angela. And this is important to know because in the United States and many other countries, they use a lot this contraction of words, like for example, FYI, for your information. So this first part is going to be do it yourself. Where will you able to get this information? So if you go here at the top of the Zoom window, you will see you press help and you press here, help center. This will lead you to the Zoom web page for help. So I have it open here, where you will have all these kind of windows. But we're going to use the most friendly user size. It's going to be top 20 resources. And as you can see here, there are a lot of windows that you can enter, but we're just going to cover the most important ones. First, you know that Zoom has weekly live trainings. It has from a lot of topics where you can also interact with the instructors that impart the classes. You have, if you want to learn from Zoom meetings from the beginnings, advanced. For example, let's open one of these ones, like Zoom Rooms user training. What can you do? You can watch the recordings, or you can watch or you can register for the next session, and it will tell you, oh, it seems that for now there is no a webinar. Let's pick another one. Let's see on Zoom Trade. Well, it seems that for now they are in all available, but you can frequently check these Zoom trainings for enrolling for the next one. So the most important point is that you can ask as some instructor for specifics that you may need for your next Zoom presentation. So that's the main advantage of this interaction. Another one is that Zoom has its own video tutorials that are uploaded in YouTube, but you can also access through a help webpage. How to join a meeting, scheduling a meeting, assigning a schedule and privilege in Outlook. There is a lot of videos that you can access in case you have your doubts of what can be done with Zoom. Next, I think this is the most important part for new users, getting started guide for new users. Maybe if you are not sure of one basic something that you learned a long time ago, but you don't remember, you simply can go here and you can add, you can see all this information. For example, I myself have not uploaded a profile photo, which I know I should do so people recognize who I am more easily, how to schedule a meeting, how to download the client, etc., etc. Also, you can share this with someone who needs to learn Zoom, but you don't have the time to explain it. Just go to this web page, and much more simpler. Frequently asked questions, or FAQ for short. How to use Zoom? You need a Zoom account, and all those frequent questions that we usually have. Also, there is how to use Zoom in mobile. This session will be mostly focused for Zoom desktop, but in case you're wondering if you have an iPad like I do, or you can only access via your phone, you can go to these two links and it will explain how to make your Zoom meeting or access from whichever device you have. And last, if you have a very specific question that is not answered in all of the Zoom, um, let's call it a forum, you can go to another forum which is called Reddit. Reddit is like a collection, it's more like a social media, but it has of different forums. And it has a specific forum for Zoom. So you go to Reddit, this is the main page, you click Zoom.
Yeah.
And it will show you the different forums that I have. And you go to this one, Zoom. In this forum, you can ask the very specific question that you have that is not answered on any YouTube videos, nor on the Zoom help page. And that's basically all. That's all the tools, some of the tools that you have to do your own research of how to make your Zoom presentation the way you want. Evidently, this is more of a basic show up, but if you want to use interaction with our virtual tools, this is the place to ask. Yeah, with Reddit and the Zoom forum. Now, let's go to the second part I want to talk is, what kind of talks can you give in Zoom? Well, basically you can give meetings or you can do webinars. What is the difference? Meetings is the thing that we as a club, that is what we have always been done for all this time, where we all interact. Meetings is like when you have sales meeting and you ask people, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Webinars is more like a focus on one or a small group of people where the chat is limited, the interaction is limited, and mostly you as a participant are only going to watch, and the one who has all the control are the host and the panelists who are giving the talks. Those are like the two phases of what you can do on Zoom, meetings or webinars. And webinars are reserved only for pro accounts, which are paid, or higher levels. If you are a free account, you can not do webinars. And lastly, and a part that I think is very important, but it's not talked much about it, is the shortcuts. Okay, you're seeing my Zoom screen, right? Okay, you go to settings, and you go to keyboard circle. You're seeing the screen, right?
Yes.
With all the shortcuts. Yes. Zoom has all these shortcuts that you can edit for yourself the way you want it. For example, how to join a meeting. I using a Mac, so for me it's Command J, start a meeting. One of my favorites, mute my audio because sometimes I lost track of my mouse, so I have to go to press the microphone button. This is much faster, and it has it has for chat, it has for phone, it has a lot of shortcuts that you can use if you want to.
Mateo, what is that little symbol? It's not an X. It's a flower or something. What is
Which
that?
this one?
Yes. What
This is
that?
because I'm a Mac user. This is common.
Oh, it's Mac.
This is the symbol for command for Mac. If you had a Windows, it will be different. It will be control. Yes. Right. That is for Macs.
Thank you.
And this is enable global shortcuts. This will allow you to rewrite for all the shortcut on the whole computer. I mean, it will book the shortcut for Zoom, regarding if you are on the Zoom window or not, or if you are watching another video or whatever. All right. So with this, I conclude the first part, which was more informational of what you can do on Zoom and some basics of how to edit. Let's call it pre-edit to some session. Now let's start with the essentials. Okay, now let's suppose that you are on your job or you are giving an important presentation, maybe a speech. So you want to test everything. You want to know that everything will go around as you plan it. How did you do that? Let's start with audio. Okay, you open your Zoom account alone without no one. You go here where the microphone symbol is, and you click in this little hat, and you go to where it says here, test speaker and microphone. I know that some of you many times have asked the same way as I've done. Are you hearing? Are they going to hear me properly? Am I being listening clearly? I didn't know how to test them. This is the way. Test speaker and microphone. You hear a sound, right? And it will ask you, do you hear a ringtone? Yes or no? What are you going to do? If you hear, you click yes. If you don't, no. What it is going to do is it will going to your computer has many speaker devices, so it will start changing them till it finds one that you can hear. So if I ask no, it start changing. Yes, I say yes, and now it's asking me for input. You saw that? Okay, we click yes, just so you can hear me. Now it was recording my voice, and then it was playing it again, so I could hear the way you could hear. That's the whole metric. And if you didn't hear anything, it will start changing the speakers and so on. And that's the last part. Then you have set up the sound system. We can continue to the next part. But you can try it yourself. Please search your speakers. Where you were Angela, right? Angela, you're muted.
Yes. What do you ask me?
This is a workshop, so I want you to test your speakers. All of you. And you can tell me if you have a problem with it.
I didn't see how you got to the test.
Okay, the test?
Usually it's when I first come in before I even join the meeting. It's then, but how do I get to it now?
Okay, go to the microphone icon and click on the hat. You will see a lot of options. Click the one that says test speakers and microphone. Click that one.
Fine.
Done.
Please tell me when you're done.
I'm done, Mateo.
All right.
Yes, I'm finished.
Done? Very easily. Now you have set up your audio. You won't have the problem ever again. Now let's go to the video. Video has two parts basically. It has, go to video settings, it has background and filters. Those are pretty simple. We all know how to use backgrounds. We can change it pretty easily. And we can upload here. We can add image or we can add video. Maybe you remember the time we had that professor for the United States, where he was a professor from high school student, and he had a sort of like a GIF, a video extension where he showed a video where he was talking, but in the back was himself, but he was dressed as a prank, and there he was talking. The recording behind him exploded like a bag, but it didn't make sound. And we all were, what was that? Isn't he talking with us? And then I understood that was a joke. He was using the zoom option to maximize his class attention. Okay. In virtual backgrounds, we have the option for having a green screen. I don't have a green screen, so I cannot access, but if I had, it will be an addition for this. And I can also mirror my video. What this has changed is, look at what it does to the background. Imagine I have this background. You can see my background, you see my name written from left to right. But if I click mirror my video, if I move to the right, my head moves to the right, but in fact, my background, it is also changed. So you see my name misspelled the other way around. So you have to be careful with that in case you have something written. And the second part is video filters. What this is useful? Well, mostly, as you can see, the first one in the first row are for managing your light. But the second ones are more like, let's call it like parties, like the ones we have had once, like the Christmas party, of all sort of also images, icons, but it is also another part which is not that much, that is the studio effects. For example, well, let me change this. Now, look at my eyebrows. This is my natural color eyebrows. Now I'm going to change it. It doesn't seem to change. Oh, right, because I have the color activated. Now it does. This is my natural color. Now you see. It's pretty funny. I know, Angela. Why would I use this? I have no idea. That depends on you. For example, it may be for a humorous contest speech or a tall tale or whatever. You didn't have time to make your own makeup, so. And as you can see here, you can change the colors. For example, I'm going to change my eyebrows to a very deep blue, very colorful blue. You can see, and you can change the opacity here. If you don't like it to be so much intense, you don't want people to staring at your eyebrows for too long. You can also add a beard. This is more like for men, or if I wouldn't want to do an interpretation. For example, I now put myself a mustache. I'm making it grayer. Or this one, I never even though I am a man, I never had this little line, so I can never have this kind of beard. It never makes the connection between my mustache and my beard. But it would be a nice way to try of how I will look myself. And lastly, we also have lip colors. For example, red, it is not as much, but now it's a bit darker. Let's go with green. It's greener. Now, more passive. Look at this. If you ask me, I think this is done by artificial intelligence, which recognizes where our eyebrows, our mouth, our mustache. That is what I think. And now, I want you to try this and make yourself a little bit of on your face. How would you like to be? Put yourself some color on your eyebrows, on your mouth. Try it yourself and tell me.
I have a question back on the mirroring. Why would you ever mirror your background?
What about my mirroring? Yes.
Why would you ever use that?
Mirroring?
Yes. Why would you ever want it backwards?
It's simple. Because if you don't have mirroring, it may be a little bit. Well, let me take my makeup off. Okay. Oh, Felipe. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Okay. Look at me. I don't have my background activated. Great. I'm going to move my head to the right. Where do you see my head move, Angela?
To the left.
All right. I also see that the same way. And if I'm doing a presentation, that might be a little bit confusing because I move to the right, but it's shown to the left. And if I don't want that, simply mirror video. Now, when I move to the right, I see my head moving to the right, so it's not confusing. I move to the left, I see it moving to the left. You understand?
Yes, but if you had words in the background,
that's the problem. Backwards. You have to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you will have to upload a mirror version of that background in order for that to happen.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, I want to see you with a makeup, Angela.
You have seen me because I wear it sometimes to the meetings.
Not with colors, but not with green eyebrows.
But I have yours on the screen. How do I get mine on the screen?
All right. Go to back, select this, video settings.
But you're sharing your screen and I can't get to my screen.
No, but I can see you. And Felipe can also see you.
Okay, I'm going to try this.
Oh, Felipe has his mask on, even though this is a virtual meeting, so it doesn't make much difference. I hope so. Yes. Yes, I don't know, but I wonder if we ourselves can upload more. Wow, these are. That's right.
Angela at the moment is like the star of the show.
It's like what?
The star of
You're like the star of the show at the moment.
That's right. Yes. I don't know if we can upload our own icons and filters, but it would be pretty cool. I think that is an advanced feature.
You cannot put two at the same time. I can't have glasses and a headband. No.
Oh, right. I didn't
Only
thought
one.
about it.
Only one at a time.
It seems like it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Good one. Yes. You can even put that in the middle of a speech, but you will have to practice. Maybe I don't know if you can add a little, if you can add a shortcut in the middle of the speech, so you don't have to access to the settings. Just when you're giving your speech and the moment arrives, just click the keyboard, and that's all immediately, and it disappears. That would be pretty cool if it were possible. All right. So now we're going on with the next options that we have on the Zoom bar. Next one is security. You have a lot of options. You have lock meeting. Lock meeting basically means no one can enter, but they can leave. That's pretty simple. Enable waiting room. That's when someone's trying to join, but they ask permission for the host if they can join or not. I've noticed that sometimes when I'm the co-host and I'm doing my speech, in the middle of the speech, a notification appears that someone is trying to join the session. So it can be a little bit distracting. So maybe we can deactivate for those kind of situations. Type of profile picture. This is self-evident. Share screen. This is for allow participants if I allow you to share screen or not. Chat, if you can have chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves. This is very this could be useful if you're having a meeting where you just want people to hear you, you don't want them to talk, or if you had a lot of people, unknown people that join the meeting and maybe they don't know the protocol and they have a talk in the background, and etc. etc. So this could be an easy way. Now you are all mute and you cannot change that. Okay. Start video. If you can share your screen, you can share your face, and annotate. I will in a few moments show what you can do with annotate. Remove participants and suspend participant activities. This will show you that everyone's video and audio will be turned off, screen sharing will stop, chat will be disabled, and the meeting will be locked. Those are the instructions. Basically, you are just only going to hear, pretty similar to a webinar. All right, the next part is participants. As you can see on the right side of my screen, I have the participants, all of you. So I will show you what options do I have. I can invite if I have contacts or via email. Yahoo, I don't know who still is using Yahoo designs. You can mute all. You have the option to allow participants to mute themselves. And there are more options. Ask all to mute, play, join, and leave sound. This is when someone joins or leaves meeting, it will make a little ding. I don't know if you can hear that ding or if it is only reserved for the participants. I'm not sure about it. Those who already talk, and these ones will already talk. So moving on with the options from Zoom. We have polling. All right. Here is a little bit of a distinction. For polling, you need to have a pro account. That's a given. Now, what happens is if I join a meeting and I'm giving co-host, can I make a polling? The short answer is no. Only the host can make a polling. But there is a catch. You cannot make a polling here in the Zoom, in the middle of Zoom. When you try to make a poll, it will send you to the Zoom webpage, and there you can make the Zoom poll. I will show you a video so you can understand more easily.
I'm going to show you how to create pools in Zoom meetings. Before we proceed, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Polls in Zoom meetings. First, make sure you have a pro or business Zoom account. If you have a pro Zoom account, you can log into your Zoom account on the web browser and then go to the profile settings of your account by clicking on your profile icon. When you're on the settings page, click on the account management given on the left side panel and then click on the account settings. In this account settings page, scroll down to locate the polls option. This option will be off by default. Turn on the toggle to enable the polling option in the Zoom meeting calls. Then, you can simply start with scheduling your Zoom meeting by clicking on Schedule a Meeting. After you fill in the details of scheduling the meeting, you can simply click on the Save to Schedule. Once the meeting is scheduled, you can now scroll down the meeting details page to find the option of Add Poll in the scheduled meeting. Click on Add Poll and then create your desired poll. You can type in the question in the provided space and fill in the single choice or multiple choice option. If you want to create more than one poll, you can simply click on Add More Questions to create another question and then save the poll. There you have it, a simple way to create a poll in the Zoom meetings. You can access this poll during the Zoom call while you're on call by simply launching the poll during the meeting. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe.
So, to summarize, to make a poll, you have to sign in on your Zoom account on the Zoom web page. You will have to schedule a meeting, and at the end, when you save the meeting, you will have an option to create a poll. When you are on the meeting, you are going to click on polling, and it will show you the polls that you pre-recorded, and it will ask you, do you want to edit or do you want to make the poll? If you want to edit, it will send you back again to the Zoom web page, and there you will be able to edit. You won't be able to do it right here. This is very important. You have a question, Angela?
Yeah, this is only if you have a pro or a business account.
Yes,
Not the
and
free
you are
account
the
account.
owner of the session.
The host of the session.
Yes.
So with a free account, I can't ever make a poll.
No. What you can do is, if someone makes you the co-host, you can share the poll. You can ask for the participants for the poll, just that, but you cannot edit. But it will be the same that it was pre-recorded. All right.
And you have to send the questions to the host, or you have to ask the credentials for Toastmaster Colombia and in the website in advance plan and schedule the poll. So in that way we can share it during the session. Any co-host can share it.
That's right. As Wendy said, you will have to get in touch with the owner of the Toastmasters account, so they can make they can pre-record the poll, and then on the session you can edit. This is important because every session we do table topics. We ask people, okay, who do you think was the winner of the table topic? And we ask, you can share your opinion, sending a private message. Maybe we can pre-record this, and we can edit the names and share and ask the public, who do you think they are the best table topic. So simple. Now next is share. Well, share has many options. What does share do? Well, share obviously share a screen, but here you can see that I have desktop 1 and desktop 2. I have 2 desktops, so I'm only showing you my first desktop. When I click show desktop, it will show everything that is shown on my screen, everything, and also what it is, the windows that are overlap one another. It will also show it. I remember that Angela, a few weeks ago, she was trying to tell us more about the 81 district contest, but she had a problem because she showed us the the Word document, but then she tried to show the link, the video to YouTube, but it didn't appear. The problem was that Angela had not selected the desktop option, but had selected the window specific option. For example, I'm going to click here on Firefox. Now, you are only allowed to see the Firefox window. But if I open a new window of a different application, you won't be able to see it. For example, I now open my Finder application. Are you seeing that on your screens?
Yes.
Ah, sorry, did I click it? Are you seeing on my screen the Finder application?
Oh, no, no.
All right, now I click it right. No, you are not seeing it, right? That's because I selected just the Firefox window. That is if you want people just to focus on the presentation. You don't want them to get any other distractions. Okay? That is what it is for. And now you see my Finder account, my Finder window. All right. What another option does it have? Well, it has a whiteboard, the one I showed you previously. This one where you can write. You can only see all white. Here I wrote DIY, do it yourself. It has many options. If you want to show something, a simple concept like the one I just showed you, you can write, you can draw, you have many options, squares, stamps, for example, if you're doing sort of a check or imbalances, very simple, just click. Maybe you're doing an auditory. Spotlight is when you want to select a specific parts. You are seeing as a laser. Angela, you once asked me if I can have a laser, right? You asked me if the laser of the real physical pointer, it can be shown with on my Zoom. Now I told you that was a lot of advance. Maybe it can, but it would be very costly. So this is like a shortcut for doing it. But just to show you, you don't need to use the white table. You can do it just here. For example, go to here, annotate. It has the same options, and then go here, spotlight. And then you're seeing my laser, right? Here at the right. Are you seeing my laser? The laser, right? On the right. You're mute, Angela.
I just unmuted, but it took me away. So we're seeing the laser, but we're also seeing the cursor on the laser. Both of them are moving around.
All right.
Is that the way it's supposed to be?
I know what you mean. All right. How remove the mouse? Well, that's an answer that I don't have now, but I can answer you later. How to remove the mouse? Yes.
And the what you're using is called Spotlight.
Yes.
That's instead of laser. That is
Yes.
laser.
Spotlight.
Okay.
The spotlight is something that I want to look at. Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Eraser is like you can erase chunks of draws and made just by clicking. Just behind do and undo and redo. You know what it means. Clear how many drawings, because I can also give you access to draw. All clear my drawings, all drawings, or clear viewers drawings. And also if I want to save what I just did here. So this is more like one of the most interactive part of Zoom. I had another option called, which was breakout rooms. But I cannot, the breakout rooms is pretty similar to polling. It can only be done by the one who is the host of the session and is a pro account. So as you cannot do, I will show you a little video of how to interact with the Zoom breakout. Oh, but yes, now I was not sharing the screen. Okay.
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here.
I forgot.
On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual classroom and split it up into smaller groups or sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom. And that breakout room button will actually be right here. This is a button that only your hosts or co-hosts will be able to see. And right now we don't have a co-host in the session. If I manage my participants, I can hover over Catherine, for example, to make her a co-host. So she'll see this button now as well. When we're ready to split the group into smaller sessions, I can easily click this button to get a pop-up window asking me how many rooms I'd like to assign out and how many participants per room. For this example, recommending since there are 6 people, we can split it up into 2 rooms. I can do this automatically or manually. So if we click on the automatic button, it'll generate those breakout rooms for us. Certainly, if there's anyone I want to swap out, maybe I want to move Michael to the other room, I can exchange him for a different participant. Once I'm ready to open all rooms, I'll click this Open All Rooms button, and our participants will be able to join the sessions that we've created for them. So we'll slowly see those people join. One thing that's really important to note is that as a host or a co-host, you can actually hop between the different rooms to talk to the participants. You can see here I have the Join button. Now everybody's left to go to the rooms. I can broadcast a message to everybody and say, wrapping up in 1 minute. And this will broadcast the message. And then I can close the rooms, which gives them a 1-minute timer to rejoin our session. We'll give everybody a second to rejoin, and I'll show you 1 or 2 additional features with breakout rooms. There we go. We can kind of see everybody kind of popping back in. Now everybody's rejoined the main session. You'll see that I have the opportunity to reopen these rooms again, which is really great. If you have a very long session or a very long virtual class, you can split into these virtual smaller groups as often as you'd like. And the additional options here will allow you to automatically close breakout rooms after a specified amount of time. You can also change the countdown timer to be 30 seconds or 2 minutes if you like. I'll show you a setting where you can also pre-assign folks to be in your breakout room before the classroom starts. You'll want to navigate over to the class that's already been created in your Zoom portal. Under the Meetings tab, you can find your meeting. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see if we open this to re-edit it, I have the opportunity to pre-assign a breakout room here. And I can create the rooms and upload a CSV with all of my participants in advance so that their names are already populated in the room when I start the session. That's basically how you can run breakout rooms. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions, please visit us at support.zoom.us. Thanks.
All right. And that is basically how you use breakout room. It's pretty simple, right? Right. Now, just before ending this part, a few things that I forgot to share. Here, when I was sharing the video, I had to click here on Share Sound. The description says, select this option if you want others to hear sounds coming from your computer, as well as see your shared screen. What does it mean? That is, if I haven't clicked this option, what would happen is that my computer would produce the sound and that it will absorb it the same way it is absorbing my voice sound. That will be inefficient and will generate some echo problems. It is easier if it just produces the sound in your computer the same way it is producing it on mine. That is what this share sound option means. Optimize for video clip. This is if you are showing a video. I should also have clicked that now that I was showing clip. This has another options like advanced options. Slides as virtual background. This is a little bit different like as I usually do. I go to basics and select my desktop, and then I put my PowerPoint presentation. This is a bit different. Why? First, this will allow you to share. It can show your face on the bottom on the screen while you have your slides as a background. To show you an example. Okay, we'll go for the short presentation that I did. Just preparing the slides. All right, now you see me and you see my short presentation as a background. And I can click and it will going on with showing the slides. But there's a bit different because as you may remember, well, when I did this speech, I have audio parts that were integrated on the slides. And here I'm not shown. I can also have, if you remember these videos, I could click on them, which I'm clicking, but it's not reproducing. So it's not as 100% as accurate. This will be useful if you have a presentation only of slides and images, and you need to see my face, but otherwise, you will have to sacrifice something to get another thing. You can also have.
Mateo,
Yes?
yes, this is what I was using when I was having all that trouble.
Yes.
And so, like you're saying, I don't know when is the best time to use something like this, because there were so many little things that
You have to test it out before. You have to prepare it. That is what this is all about. Just because.
Yeah. And some things, even if you test them out, you can't do them. You just test out that you can't do
Right.
it.
As you can see, it has on the bottom up, it says this word beta. It's in beta process, so it still has a lot of features to integrate.
Yeah.
So it's expected that it will have this lackness in some areas.
Yeah.
Other options that you have are portion of your screen. This is different from, for example, when you were selecting a specific window application. Now, this will show just a part of the screen. You can even overlap it with other windows. For example, here you're seeing my Finder window with my Firefox window. This is if you want to, if you have many windows open, but you don't want to, at any change, you want to interchange them very easily, this will become pretty handy. Also, here's this option. Let me share, go back to basics once again. Okay. So here you will also have, if you want to share only sound, not video. Here's the opposite. If you want to share only video, not sound. If you want to share content from another camera, if you have two cameras, you have two computers, you have to show another angle or whatever. And files, if you want to share files, Dropbox, Google Drive, Microsoft, whatever. And just a little part that I miss on the basics of sharing your screen. You can also share what you are seeing on your iPad via AirPlay, or you can connect a cable. In case you have, like Camilo did once when he was the Toastmaster and he did the theme of the session about this game that it was for improving your English, where we were trying to guess which word was next. It was a pretty fun game, and he did it all from his cell phone. All right, and now those are and one last thing. We have remote control. Remote control gives control to other people with some areas of the Zoom platform, like auto accept all requests. If someone asks you something like maybe host or let me share a screen, immediately it gives permission. Share clipboard. Now, with this, you can give mouse and keyboard control to other people. Remember when I was showing you the annotate options, and there was a part here that said, clear all drawings, my drawings, Peter's drawings. This is the part where it gets incorporated. If you want to write, where I write it, I give you remote control permission. For example, let's do it. Let's try it. Okay. Let's click here. Oh. Let's click here on whiteboard. Okay, so I have my whiteboard. Let me clear everything. Okay, I'm going to write M for Mateo, and I'm going to give permission to Felipe and Angela. Now, I want you to write something. Maybe the word that starts with your name. Write something. Okay, the spotlight. All right, I made a problem. Now realize I moved my mouse really slightly. That is the reason why there is that big move, because you can only control one mouse even though there are two people. So if you give permission to other people, don't move your mouse. Is that you, Angela? Yes, that's Angela. All right, let me give permission to Felipe. So
No, I didn't receive any notification. How do I know that I have admin rights or like control rights?
okay, Angela, let me give permission to Felipe. Don't move your mouse. All right. No, I can only give permission to one person at a time. So I cannot give permission to three. Now you can write, move the mouse, Felipe. Yes,
wait.
you can move it.
Mm.
That is Wendy. She can write because she's the host, of course.
If I believe if I assign them as co-host, they can't.
Oh, also, thanks for the advice. Host and co-host can all write on the drawing. Mhm. If
Can we all write at the same time?
we are all, well, there's only one mouse. That's the problem.
Ah,
I mean, we can all write, but there's only
Oh,
one
you
mouse.
can
Very nice. Just a suggestion. If you find a little bit harder to write with mouse, if you have an iPad like I do, and you have a Apple Pencil, which connects to the iPad and let you write like if it was on paper, then you can share the screen that it is on your iPad and use the Apple Pencil to write naturally, and that is what people see. So that is just as an option if you want to be precise on your writing. Okay. And now, with this, I conclude the second part of Zoom Essentials. There are a lot more advanced topics, but I wanted to show you what you can do with a free account and with a pro account. I didn't show you how to do a webinar, but that may be for another session. Who knows what you can do on business accounts and anything above and beyond. And now, the last part is for ideas. Okay, you might be thinking, okay, Matthias, it was essential, but is there anything else for us? What can I do to impress my boss at the meeting? How can I differentiate myself from the rest? I want to get that right, Matteo. Can you help me? Well, I can give you some ideas. For example, when I was doing my research for my educational speech about the type of contents that the master had, I found out this video of a man called Amit Ali. And he uses the, let's call it the Zoom box that I know we all are going to identify immediately, to improve his speech, to add another layer that wouldn't be possible to add in a live speech. Let's watch.
Something special there. They were having a shawl that they were covering with, and they were able to hide themselves. They became invisible by having a shawl like this. They were putting on themselves and they were becoming invisible. It was so strange.
Did you saw that? Did you see how he used that Zoom bug in order to add that invisible tape to his story? That is creative. That's one way you can use. There is a perfect example of how you can convert disadvantages of this platform into advantages. It was very creative. But this is not only reserved to the people like us at the Toastmasters, let's call it beginning stages. Yes, Angela?
What he was just doing, I wonder if that just is a function of having a green screen or a blue screen, because I know I have a green screen and I have a blue screen. And they told me now with the new format that came out 3 or 4 months ago, that makes things disappear on your background, when your arm disappears and that sort of thing. If you put a green screen behind, that will be much lessened, but don't wear anything green, because anything green that you have will disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like that's what this man just did. He had a blue screen and he picked up a blue cape to make him disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter, right?
Yes. Yes, and you and I have had that problem many times, right? You're trying to show me a book or a review. You try to pose it very close to your face so it doesn't disappear, and
Yes.
how pointless at the end.
But you can put the screen behind, which I did for my last presentation, so I didn't have any of that little stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There are endless options. Now, these kind of tricks are not only reserved for those master the beginning stages. Let's watch the 2020 World Championship speech, which also used Zoom in a pretty creative way. My car.
That film, all of a sudden, something started looking strange. The film, all of a sudden, something started looking strange. The film slowed down, and when it picked back up, it made a sound like, and it looked like it was blinking. Then the sheriff was talking to us from the side of the screen. The blinking started again with a loud noise. Everything went blank. I ran to the front and I turned off the projector. I opened it up.
So simple, isn't it? It was just, well, the camera is not high quality, so it doesn't, so I need more frames in order to catch it. But he put his finger on the screen just to show you a visual image of what happened to the camera. That would have been almost impossible to do it on a live speech, right? On the live stage. So let's look at another example of how you can use this theatrality with Zoom. It's another speech from a competition at District 93.
The story begins with a little caterpillar hatching from an egg. The little caterpillar stuffs himself with leaves, growing bigger and bigger. One day, he stops eating, hangs upside down, spins himself a silky cocoon. Wait a minute. Is he doing self-quarantining? We all know the feelings, right? Loneliness, depression, and frustration of self-quarantine. Poor little fella. But during cocooning, our little caterpillar radically transforms his body, eventually emerging as an extraordinary butterfly. My question here is,
what is she doing exactly here? She is controlling the theater that Zoom allows, because we can only see a little portion of the whole screen. Maybe the people can see this as a burden, because we have to raise our hands in unnatural ways. We cannot move around the stage from this way to another, but you can see it as a positive side. It is more easy for you to control what people see. It is much of a closer interaction. Recently, I was listening to a podcast, and I heard a topic that was called Zoom tiredness, which basically means we humans are not used to have this kind of love interaction of seeing each other's faces for such a long amount of time. We, after 1 hour, we get tired and everything, but this is also an advantage for short speeches, like the ones we practice on Toastmasters, because it is another way of intimacy that it is not allowed, that the possibility doesn't exist on a physical reunion. So these were one of the few ideas that I wanted to share with you of what you can do with Zoom and beyond. And lastly, I want to give you a piece of advice, but not from me, but from someone who is at a much higher level than I am, which is the 2018 Speech World Championship, Aaron Barrett.
In 2019, Toastmasters International introduced a video quarterfinal into the speech contest. Videos of live speeches were recorded, and the videos were sent to a panel of judges virtually. Back then, it was the Toastmasters district that was responsible for the filming, the lighting, and the sound. However, for a speech contest that is recorded from your home, you are now responsible for the filming, the lighting, and the sound. But before we get to those,
now, in this day and age, you, me, all of us are responsible for the lighting, the video filming, and the sound. It is related of what you were asking me, Angela, but I have problem with this, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't matter. This is one of the extra things we have to do. We have to prepare the presentation with ahead of time. This includes the internal problems that we may have, the cameras that are not functioning, the bad audio, but it's all part of this new Zoom era that is not going to disappear, much less after this pandemic. And with that, I want to conclude my Zoom workshop. I wanted to talk a lot about more topics, but I didn't thought I had enough time. But as much people didn't assist, so the workshop didn't take us much time. So that's all for now.
Can we ask some questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I just came from a long meeting this morning with about 25 people in it.
Mhm.
And they had several panel discussions. And their question and my question was, in the Zoom format, they were only highlighting the person who was speaking at the time.
Yes.
And the question is, could they put the 4-member panel highlighted
Oh, okay.
with the audience not? I know we can pin the timer. Can we pin
I understand.
4 people?
Yes. Do you remember that at the beginning I talked about meetings and webinars?
Mhm.
They were like the two options that Zoom allowed you. The type you're talking is the webinars. The webinars allow you to show you one person. But if you want, you can allow the option to show also the rest of panelists. That's
Mhm.
allowed in the when you have the webinar, but you have to be a pro account like this one.
So it's not pinning. It's not pinning the
It's not
individuals.
meeting. That's an option of specific of webinars that we, in the format of meeting, do not have.
Okay, and then I have another question about pinning. I've never been able to successfully pin the timer when I'm speaking.
All right, we can do it.
How do I do that? And what does my screen look like when I do that? And
Okay.
what if I'm showing slides and
You're
what if I'm
showing,
not showing
you're
slides?
watching my, all right. You're seeing my screen, right? For example.
You're not sharing. It doesn't say you're sharing.
No?
Doesn't say
He's
that.
sharing it. Maybe try to check Angela, because right now I'm showing on his screen. So if you can see me, you can probably see his screen. He's seeing his screen.
Okay. Oh, you are viewing Mateo Duran's screen. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You see that I have my mouse on Felipe, right?
Okay.
Here, click on the three dots and you will see
Yes.
a lot of options. You can click
Yes.
pin. And it
Okay.
you're gonna put Felipe, well, this is because if I change my view, well, Felipe should appear here. But when someone else talks, Felipe will be the one who appears at the beginning, like where I am. Can you try that? Pin someone else and tell me, Angela.
On my screen?
Yes.
How do I get to my screen? You are sharing your screen.
All right. And then let me stop sharing. Although you can also do it.
Okay. So I will pin Felipe. So I'll go to the three dots.
Mm-hmm. Click pin.
It won't come up.
But it appears on the forefront, right?
It won't drop down. Oh, there. Okay. Pin. Okay.
When someone
now,
Felipe will appear always at the top.
No, you and I are at the top, but nobody else.
No, but that may be because of the view.
What view do I need? I have speaker view.
Yes. When someone else is talking, that person might appear. When someone is talking, Felipe might appear at the beginning.
But Felipe will always stay in the top. And if I am sharing my screen, I'm making a presentation and I'm watching the timer, that's Felipe.
All right. Now let's go to the opposition then. You shared your screen. So you have two screens, right? Or just one? How many screens do you have?
No, I only have one. I only
All
have
right.
one.
When you shared your screen, well, you will see your screen and the view of the participants will appear, right? Like in a column, right? Right? For example, share your screen. Share your screen.
I'm trying, but okay. And just the basic screen?
Yes, anyone will work.
Okay, why isn't that doing that?
All right.
Okay.
Now, there is a part that we cannot see, that is us. You are seeing us as a column, right?
I'm seeing, yes, but there are more people in the, I'm only seeing, it's actually through this whole workshop, I've only seen the three of us.
You can do select someone, for example, select someone who is at the bottom, which is not shown, pin that person. Just pin it and will appear at the top.
Yes.
That person now appears at the top, right?
Okay.
That's exactly what you need for the timer when it's showing you the colors.
Okay, so if I am showing slides, I'm doing whatever on my screen, that's staying constant there.
Yes.
Okay.
And we won't see it. We're just seeing your screen and your face. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Any other questions you have? Maybe Felipe, or I see Mali has joined us.
I don't know why I've never been able to do that. I've tried it for months and never
It was
been
so
able
simple, right?
Well, yes, but when I'm trying it, I'm always trying it by myself. And then when I get there and there's 20 people, it doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
Yes. You know,
It's
next time you'll have to search for that timer manually, select it, pin it, and it will appear at the top. But you can only pin one person.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have any questions so far, but as a matter of fact, there was one question that I had at the beginning of the meeting that you resolved for me today. So I'm thankful for that. I'm referring to the like sharing your presentation behind your camera. So that you could appear with your presentation. I think that's a very useful tool, like because we actually can get to see the person while seeing the content. That's something that is natural when you're presenting, but here it's kind of tricky because it's with sharing screen and not really sharing your virtual background, which is the way that I thought it was. So I was going crazy about it last time because I wanted to use it and I couldn't use it because I didn't find out.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't figure it out. So I'm very thankful for having realized about that during your
presentation. That you can resize yourself, how big you want others to see you, and you can move yourself around the screen. You have that option.
Yeah, you have to go to advanced when you share. You have to go to advanced. That's what I used when I made my Alaska Husky. Didn't you evaluate me for the Alaska Husky? I don't know, but anyway, I had so much trouble. I couldn't move the slides because some of the technology was in the way, and just I had so much trouble. So be careful. Prezi is better. It does the same thing and it's better.
Yes.
So.
But Prezi, I'm not sure if Prezi shows slides. I'm not sure if you can share your slides with Prezi. You can show things, but you cannot fill the screen with text as far as I'm concerned.
You make your program, well, you make your program in Prezi and you dump it into Zoom. So, but
yeah, no, I've done it too. But what I mean is that you cannot really show slides in Prezi. You can, I mean, if you want to show a page on Prezi, basically you show it as an image, and then it sits on top of you, so people can actually see you when you're presenting a slide. So that's what I'm kind of talking about. Like if you want to present graphs or something like that. Yeah.
Prezi, like PPLT, which is the PowerPoint extension, Prezi has its own extension. Oh well, when you see when you go to advanced and set to slides a virtual background, it will allow you to select which presentation. I'm using a Mac, so these are .key, which is the native environment for Mac presentations. Do you want to try it on your Prezi presentations, if it allows you to show your face behind?
I don't have Prezi right now on the PC that I have, but
okay, you can try.
I'll try it out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll try it out. But I mean, to be honest, like I actually wanted to pinpoint that fact that I just didn't know how to work that out. So having options, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be cool for my next speech. So it's going to be like, okay, maybe I can use this. Maybe I'll have technical troubles, so these other options would be better. It's just good. It's just cool to have more options.
And this is a new option from Zoom just in the last month, and like Mateo said, it's beta. So I'm going to keep watching it, and hopefully they'll be fixing these little problems, over the next month or two.
Yeah,
I mean, because it was really cool. It was really cool. Yeah, you can move yourself around the screen. You can make yourself bigger or smaller.